In this morning's For Your Family report, helping children become better readers. Yes, it is back to school season, but you know what? When it comes to reading, what we do as parents at home can actually make a big difference in how well children read in school. And third grade, by the way, is a critical year. A lot of teachers often say up through third grade, kids learn to read. After third, they read to learn. So how can parents help at home? Joining us this morning is Dr. Richard Gentry, who wrote the book Raising Confident Readers. He is an early childhood literacy expert. Good morning, Dr. Gentry. Thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Good morning, Judy. Delighted to be here.
Very nice to meet you in person. You have done a lot of research in this area. Why is it so important that we make sure kids are reading at grade level early on?
Well, you know, in America right now, 4 out of 10 third graders aren't reading proficiently.
Really?
And the key, I think, Judy, is early intervention, starting early. And it's so much easier to fix reading problems if we get that early start than if we wait until kids are way behind in their grade level.
And in fact, talk about an early start. In Dr. Gentry's book, he is suggesting, according to a lot of research, that you can start kind of planting that seed for reading skills when your kids are babies. How?
Absolutely. You know, I think there's a revolution in baby reading right now. Most parents know that they're supposed to begin reading aloud to their babies beginning really after birth. But some incredible things are happening. For example, software-based technology is allowing parents to interact with babies with word games in front of computers. And that's a wonderful compliment. And what we find is that with babies, babies learn to read differently. They often likely use right brain capacities, and they can pick up reading as easily as they can pick up languages.
Babies.
So wonderful to start early.
I certainly have always heard that you should read to the babies. I have a 1-year-old at home. I find that he chews on the book a little bit more when I'm reading to him.
But you know, that's great because he's exploring the book, and that's part of early reading, exploring book. He's falling in love with books and with that interaction with you. So, fantastic.
So it's doing something, even though he's not really paying attention, or so I think he's not paying attention to me. Okay, we're going to move up in the age group. Now, if you have preschoolers at home, Dr. Gentry is saying that you should introduce drawing and writing. Why drawing?
Well, pediatricians tell us that one of the milestones for 12-month-olds is to be able to handle baby-safe crayons. And what we've learned from research is that many children draw and write first and read later. It's two-dimensional, it's representational. They draw pictures, and they can, as toddlers, tell narratives about their pictures. And soon what they do is they start to try to write. And in that writing process and trying to pretend to write or invent spellings, they are able to work through and figure out how the English code works.
Wow, so drawing is good for them.
Many kids draw and write first and read later. And
2 more age groups to get through. If you have kids entering kindergarten, Dr. Gentry says it is so important that you intervene early if the child is not ready for school or not school ready. But how do you know if they're not school ready?
Well, 2 easy ways to judge is that children who come to kindergarten should be able, number 1, to write their name, and number 2, they should be able to tell about a favorite book.
Okay.
So it's so important that children, before they enter kindergarten, have lots of reading and writing experience so that they're school ready. Right now, 43% of children who enter kindergarten in America are not ready for success.
Wow. 43%.
And, you know, the word needs to get out. Parents are the first reading teachers. And if we can get that word out, we could do remarkable things for education reform in America.
Okay, finally, I have to get to this because I thought it was such an interesting tip. If you have elementary school aged kids, make sure they have a spelling book. Why spelling?
Spelling is at the very basis of reading. If I hold up the word Chicago in 250 milliseconds in the left hemisphere of your brain, the dictionary in your brain, you see the word the meaning, and the expert spelling. So it's so important that children have a spelling book in their book bag.
Okay, very good information, Dr. Richard Gentry. Thank you so much once again for joining us this morning. If you would like to read more about this, Dr. Gentry's book is called Raising Confident Readers. I have a copy. I'll be reading it.